starring you, girl. Today, by the title of this video, you can tell that I'm going to be talking about the time that I was sleeping. I slept out of my car. Let's get into it.
Too much sauce. I got too much sauce. Soon I still pull up when you need it. I gotta know you can deal with it. Stop reading through the lines while you showing. Stop playing with your mind, about to blow it.
This is about something that is so personal to me and so embarrassing to talk about and so scary to talk about. But I felt like, I don't know, like I felt like this is part of this is a part of the journey, and this is a part of my story. So I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell it today. I feel like this story that I'm about to tell was the downfall of my previous life. Mixin, come sit in here with me. Calling my dog. I feel like it was the downfall of my previous life. It was a lot of stuff that happened during that time period that revealed itself to me. But I was just too depressed to really deal with it head on. So I didn't really deal with it. Instead, I just threw it in the back of my mind and dealt with what I was dealing with at the time, which was this, being homeless. It was the most important aspect of my life. So everything else that was going on beside it, other than that, I couldn't focus on it because I was too focused on exactly what was going on with my life, which was the main focal point of what was going on, which was being homeless. I'm just going to start from the beginning of the story. Before I jump into this video, make sure you guys follow me on my social media. You can find me on Snapchat and Instagram at She Wants Stormy. She Wants with the S, Stormy. Go ahead and add your girl. Hit me up on there. A lot of you guys send me messages on Instagram and Snapchat, and I get so mad because people in the comments can't see your comment. Like, you're secretly giving this to me. Put it in the comments, y'all, because I love the words of encouragement that I'm getting, like, privately on messages and stuff, but I totally want to see that love in the comments. Like, it deserves to be in the comment section. So put it in the comments too, and send me a personal message. Let's start from the top. So this was like, I want to say 2 years ago. Let me think. 3 years ago. Wow. So this was second semester of my sophomore year. January of 2015, I want to say. This is just an estimate. I don't really know. But that's my guess. January 2015. I moved in with a friend. They had a 4-bedroom apartment. Or whatever like that. And at the time, the other roommates didn't move in. They were like, hey, you should come live here. You guys can just give me like $200, $300 a month, and you guys can stay here, and it'll be cool. Like, we'll all be roommates or whatever. And this was already an illegal agreement because they were student apartments. So everyone signed a lease for each room, not the actual apartment complex. Apartment itself. So we were already illegally staying in a room. You get my point. So I was giving this girl $200 to stay there every month or whatever like that. And it was going okay. My mom kept telling me, hey, when are you moving out? When are you getting your own place? You shouldn't stay there for too long. It's okay right now because I know you have to go to class and stuff, but you shouldn't stay there too long. You need to find your own apartment. But when my student refund came, I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. Like, she's cool as crap. This is a good friend. She's not going to trip out on me. She doesn't care if we stay here. Like, this is a great life. So we're partying up. Woohoo, $200 a month. We having the greatest time of our life or whatever. And we get busted by the apartments. So when the apartments find out or whatever like that, they were just telling us we got to move out. But my friend was like, okay, well, you guys can just still stay here. Y'all can stay in the living room or whatever. Obviously, we can't occupy the rooms now, but the living room is totally fine, and no one else are staying in these rooms, so it's still totally fine. So we're like, okay, well, I guess we could do that. We could just stay, in the living room, because at this point, we're pretty much out of money, acting like dumb fools and spending it on other stuff, and we don't have any jobs. We're just students. We're staying in the living room, whatever, and I guess she gets kind of irritated because Obviously, I'm taking up all her space, crowding her space, doing too much. We're talking about multiple personalities in one apartment. It's just too much, basically. Because at this point, just imagine like a 1 bedroom apartment and I'm occupying the entire living room. So it was just too much for her. So it was time to pay the 200, and I was like, I didn't have the full 200. I only had 100. And I don't remember why I didn't have the other 100. I can't remember, but she was just like, if you don't give me my money, then you got to get out ASAP, like today. And I was like, well, I'm gonna give you the money. You know I am. I'm good for it. I've never not given you the money. Just give me some time. But she was upset because she needed the other 100 for something personal, not for the rent, but for something else. And I just didn't have it. So she was like, get out or whatever. So I started packing my stuff and was going to get out. And she came back and was like, I don't mean you actually have to get out. I'm just saying, like, I really need the money or whatever like that. But at that point, I was like, no, forget it. Like, you're not going to embarrass me like this. Forget it. I'm going to get out. Like, no. So I packed all my stuff and still was going to school. So I had nowhere to go. Like, nowhere to go. But I just wasn't going to be told, like, no one was going to dog me out like that and then expect me to be like, okay, well, fine, I'm sorry, I can't give you the money, but I'll still sleep on your couch or whatever. I was like, no, this, I don't need you, I don't need this, whatever, forget it. So I left, and I packed all my crap and was in the car. That's when reality kicks in, like, you're literally in this car. So for a couple of days, I jumped around to friends' houses, like slept on their couches or whatever, and then I started realizing that I really didn't have anything. Life got real quick. Okay, let me not say I was not in this alone, but I can only tell my side of the story, obviously, because I'm speaking from personal experience. I can't speak for somebody else. But I was not in this situation alone. You guys can use context clues. So a lot of time I say we, just know I made me and I, or whatever the case may be. I wasn't there alone. So see, look, it's confusing. At nighttime, after school and after class was over, I would stay at the school as long as possible, probably like till like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, or whatever like that, and then just drive around trying to find somewhere to sleep for the night. That was the most comfortable. That was the most dark spot. So drive around town, find somewhere that looked quiet but safe, and sleep there, and not really sleep all night. I'd probably sleep like 2 or 3 hours, wake up, look around, cry, go back to sleep for a couple hours. It was really hot in the car. I slept with the windows rolled up because of obvious safety reasons. But my feet would swell really bad because I was basically just sitting up all night. So then I started laying down in the back seat, and the other person would lay in the front seat. So that worked for a little bit, and then after a while, we started realizing that, we have to shower. We just need, like, small resources. So we found a gym membership that you could start for, like, $10 and for a month. And, they have showers and stuff there. So we started parking at this AutoZone, and the AutoZone was, like, 30 minutes away from the school, but this gym was, like, the only gym, like, in the area. I don't know why it was 30 minutes away, but it was, like, 30 minutes away. So we would drive 30 minutes away after class, come to the AutoZone, sleep there at night, wake up around 7 o'clock in the morning, go to the gym, take a shower, brush our teeth, maybe work out. I really didn't work out. I wasn't even in the mental stability mindset to work out, so I really didn't work out. But I would just take a shower and stuff and then get ready. We would go to class. And I started looking really busted, y'all. During this time, I was really looking busted. So we didn't have a lot of money. So with the $10 that we had per week, because we had like $10, $11 per week after we paid the phone bill, $10 was the food for the week, which meant that we were buying bread, lunch meat, bread and lunch meat. We were living off of sandwiches and like fast food. And like when I say fast food, I mean like Jack in the Box tacos, 2 for $1 type fast food. We're not eating from the 4 for 4. The 4 for 4 is too much. We're eating $1 stuff. Eating sandwiches took a toll on my body. I started gaining weight rapidly, which is crazy because you think when you're poor, you're homeless, you're not going to gain weight, you're losing weight, you're stressed out. But see, my coping mechanism for everything that I was going through was eating. I would compensate with going to the grocery store, grabbing some fruit off the shelf, walking around the grocery store, eating an apple, eating an orange, eating a banana, and stuffing myself with these sandwiches. And Jack in the Box tacos. I would eat so many Jack in the Box tacos because they were $1. And at the time, we found a way to finesse the system where we could use like a coupon over and over and over and over again. So I would eat like 10 or 12 tacos, and my weight just started piling on. It was just piling on, piling on. During this time, I probably gained like 50 pounds in 4 months because I was just eating so much. And I didn't realize how much weight I was gaining because I was dealing with emotional stuff. I didn't tell my mom I was sleeping out of a car because I didn't want her to tell me to come back home. My mom was going to shut down the idea of me sleeping in a car and tell me to come back home. So here's a little bit of footage. During one day I was feeling really, really down. We recorded some of this stuff that was going on because we felt like it was going to be important to when we came up, and it was. So here's a little bit.
This is IMD material right there. Go.
I just don't want to be a secret anymore, you know? I'm not saying that it should not be a secret. I'm just saying I just want to make things happen so life don't have to be a secret anymore. And the life that I actually portray to live, I live. I'm tired. I'm mentally worn out.
As y'all can see from that video, I was tired. Oh my God, I was so tired. I was so fed up. So, and I still don't blame for some things that happened during this time period. Like, I got into a really bad car accident from arguing with the passenger in my car. We were arguing or whatever, and I just wasn't paying attention and bagged into this car, totaled their car. My car was messed up. I was paying a car note at the time. I didn't have insurance because I couldn't afford it. So the back of my car was messed up until it was messed up forever. Basically, it never got fixed. And that person's car was totaled. I was crying. I was depressed. We were living out of cars / Airbnbs. So a week in a car, a week in an Airbnb, a week in a car, a week in Airbnb. It started getting better as time went on because I was delivering food, and the other person that I was with had a job. So with the job plus me delivering, we started coming up a little bit. So finally, we slept in the car that whole semester. So 4 months of being homeless, of not really having any food, just paying for Airbnbs, not living the best life or whatever. Things started happening that forever changed the trajectory of everything that was going on. I can't even really, like, there's so much that I feel like I want to talk about, but I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that kind of stuff. I just feel like that's not even really important. Basically, a whole bunch of shit happened, and it changed everything forever. I couldn't deal with some problems that I was going through because I was too busy dealing with the homelessness and trying to get over this depression that I had, this sadness that had overcame me during that period of time. Like, it overcame me so bad that I didn't see any positive at all during the day in my life. Nothing. I didn't really talk to anybody. I had gained so much weight that I wasn't attractive to myself, and I didn't care if anybody else thought I was attractive because I'm homeless. Like, stop asking me questions. I don't know. I live out of a car. I can't talk to anybody about it because no one knows. The only person that knows is the person sitting next to me. Other than that, no one knew that I was sleeping out of a car. It was a dark hole, y'all. I felt like there was no getting out of that situation. So one night, I remember, and particularly, I was laying down in the car, in the back seat, and I had bought this little fan because it was so hot in there. And it was on or whatever, and I was in the back seat, and I was sleeping. There were suitcases beside me because I was living out of a suitcase. God, I can't even believe this really happened to me. So I was living out of a suitcase and I was laying down in the back seat and there was a at the car door window, and I opened my eyes and I was like, I was freaking out. It was this big, tall, black, dark man, and not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying he looked scary and he probably was on drugs or something. But he was knocking on the car door, and it just freaked me out. I just got startled and Harry got in the driver's seat. I just drove that whole night and I was just crying and driving, and I was so frustrated and so sad. And at that point I realized that I was sleeping out of a car and I was really homeless and life just was shitty and I couldn't believe this was my life. And you know, ugh, I still can't believe that was my life. I still can't believe if there's anything that I despise more that happened to me in my life, if there's anything that I wish that I could take back and rewind and never have let happen, it would have been being homeless. Because I feel like there was so much emotional damage that was done to me personally, in my relationship, just in general from that situation, that I wish that I could take that back, if anything. But anyways, I had drove that whole night, and I'm sorry I'm skipping around. I'm just trying to let you guys know like what really was going on. And I just was so sad and was just so hurt. And I couldn't believe that was my life. And I couldn't believe that this was what was really going on or whatever like that. And it just, oh my God, it just took a toll on my life. One night it was raining really, really hard. The best time to sleep when you're homeless, by the way, living out of a car, is when it's raining. Because when it's raining, you know no one's going to roll up on you. No one can really see you. You feel a little bit safer when it's raining. So I slept the best when it was raining. And one night it was raining or whatever, and I was crying and I was praying to God, and I was just like, God, please, like, once I get out of this situation, I promise I'll never be homeless again. I will never, ever put myself in this predicament where I put my life and my livelihood in someone else's hands. I will never be so financially irresponsible that I end up in a place where I can't live, Lord. But I want to graduate school, so please help me get through this time of my life, but please don't ever let me be in this situation again. So after that prayer, I made a game plan for how we were going to get an apartment. And I laid it down. And as you guys know, this is pretty much where the story picks up from my life, because this is when YouTube started getting better. This is when financial literacy came into play, and there was a plan for how we were going to live and make it and not be poor and not live off of other people and depend on other people. We're going to do it ourselves. So I made a list. This is what I'm going to do. 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 This is how we're going to do it. We did it. We got a 2-bedroom apartment, which we were not supposed to get a 2-bedroom apartment. We ended up in this beautiful place, and life just kicked up from there. It was, and I have footage of that too. This is where most of you guys picked up in the story. Y'all didn't see the before of that. But see, so much emotional crap happened in that before phase that I put in the back of my mind that I did not deal with, that I literally, y'all, let me explain this to y'all. Imagine going through something traumatic, right? Let's say, this is extreme and this is just an example. Let's say your child dies, and 2 weeks later your mom died. But you were so focused on your child dying that you didn't really realize that your mom died. So after you deal with the fact that your child died, a year later you're able to realize that your mom's not here either. And you're like, wait, what? I didn't deal with that. My mom's not here? Okay, that's kind of like what basically happened to me. I dealt with the homelessness issue and was so focused on not being broke, not being homeless, getting over this, not looking back, not being broke anymore, actually eating foods, not having to steal to eat, not eating stupid avocados and sandwiches every fucking day, every day, that I didn't deal with some other shit that was going on. So a year goes by. A whole year goes by, right? In the apartment, living good, living my best life in this apartment, but feeling some type of sadness in my heart and not knowing why. Feeling some kind of sadness in my heart and not knowing why. And then one day, like an onion, the past reveals itself. Everything that you were subconsciously feeling in your heart just starts coming out. And at that moment, you realize why you hated being homeless so much. Why being homeless ruined your life. It made you forget who you were. Made you lose yourself. You lost yourself in a 4-month period of being isolated, not talking to people, overeating on shit that you didn't even really want, overeating on stuff that you really don't want, being depressed, not smiling, not talking, barely getting by, just making sure that you're passing and that's it. Those 4 months of my life ruined the next 2 years of my life. One of those years, I was masking everything that I was feeling. And the next year, I had to play catch up on finding who I was and realizing that that wasn't me, and losing weight and working on my health and working on my mental health. And then the next year after that, which is the current year, I had to work on recovering from everything that I lost in the year of hiding everything that I was feeling. See, y'all, you have to talk about shit that's bothering you. You have to get it out. You have to tell somebody, whether it's your parent, whether it's your best friend, whether it's some stranger. I don't know who it is, but you have to talk to somebody. I didn't talk to anybody about any of the stuff that I was going through and that I was feeling. I kept it in and I let it pile up. Y'all, that hurt, it will come back to you. You can all day pretend like everything's okay, but eventually it will come out and it will explode. It will explode like a volcano. And that's what happened to me. So anyways, I shared this story because, again, it's important to who I am today, period. I'm embarrassed that I was homeless a little bit, but for the most part, I'm not embarrassed because it's who I am. It made me the Stormy that I am today. It made me stronger. I know for a fact I overcame homelessness. I know for a fact I'll never be homeless again. And I know for a fact that I'll never shut up. If I'm feeling some type of way, you gonna know, baby. You gonna feel this hurt. I'm getting this hurt out because it ain't going to stay in and kill me. I'm going to tell somebody about it. And that's what I hope you guys got from this video, that if you're feeling something, just talk about it. Because even if you're embarrassed of your situation, it will be worse if you keep it in. Yeah, this was my life and this happened to me. I overcame it. I pray every day for people that are going through this. Not the homeless people who are doing drugs. And even them, I pray for them. I pray for them too. But for the homeless people who literally live out of a car in a different city, in a different state than their family, and just don't know how they're going to get out of it, I pray for them every single day because that was the lowest time of my entire life. One of the lowest times of my entire life. Seriously, it really was. I put on a facade that everything was okay. I would do that, but deep down inside I was hurting. I wasn't going to church. I wasn't talking to anybody. Nothing. I was just hurting silently to myself, and I felt like no one was my friend. Oh God, it was I'm so glad I'm out of that situation. I'm so thankful that I had enough sense to come out of that situation, really, if you want to be honest. But there was a lot of stuff that happened in those 4 months that forever changed the trajectory of my life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've been homeless before, you've overcome homelessness, in the comments, let me know how that worked out for you. What did you learn from that experience? If you've never been homeless before, just still leave your thoughts on this video. I want to know what you guys, got from this video, whatever. I love you guys so much. Thanks for coming back and, rocking with your girl. Like, all this love I'm getting, like, on social media, it just means the world to me, y'all. Like, it means the world to me. It means the world to me. I'm so thankful. God is so good. I keep saying that because I really want y'all to know, like, God is good. If you give him a chance to just do his work and you let go and let God, baby, he'll show up and show out. I love you guys so much, and I'll see y'all in my next video.
Patience and one taught me pain.